welcome back to my channel. Amy here with Organized Hobbits. I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas holidays. I was going to post more in between, but I just decided to take the time just to enjoy, not focus on really doing anything. The holidays are obviously over now, so I'm just trying to get busy now until I go back. I go back in about a week to work, and I got some time now to film, get some projects and stuff started for the year. You guys, if you saw my last video, you would have seen the video for the beginning of this 2020 series, which was my planner. Decided to do my sketchbooks next, just because my social media planner really isn't ready to be shown. There's not a lot that I can show you guys right now, so I'd rather spend the time to get that set up properly before I show you, just that way it's an accurate representation of how I'm going to be working it. I will, however, show you guys my planning case and my pencil case in separate videos, but I wanted to kind of show you my sketchbook pile. So this is an excessive sketchbook pile. I know that. I fully recognize the fact that a lot of people are going to be like, why do you have so many? But I will, if anybody's curious, get into why in a separate video. But for this one, I'm just going to show you guys what each sketchbook is for and why it's a part of my 2020 pile. I did take out a few of them just because they aren't ones that I'm particularly going to be focusing on in 2020. There's a couple that I'm really close to finishing, and I just didn't see the point in throwing them into this video because I could have them finished the next day or two. So, but I'm just going to kind of go in order of size so I can get through the pile. And if you hear things get knocked over because I'm putting it in the opposite direction of the actual order of what it should go into, well, that's what happens on this channel apparently. So this one here is, there we go, a little, it was actually a little freebie that Shopty sent me, and it just opens up like this. It's an accordion style sketchbook, and I love accordion style sketchbooks so much, but I was really curious about working on doing little florals in this style, and I think that this is the perfect size for me to attempt doing mini florals and doing mini like little animals and stuff like that, because I do want to get into more like wilderness painting and animal painting and stuff, because I do a ton of people, but I want to kind of expand what I'm painting in 2020. And with that, I kind of created my own little crude accordion book. And what I say by crude is, in the middle here, it's literally held together by masking tape because I don't have any sheets that are long enough to really make a huge accordion book, or one that had more than, 3 panels. So I wanted something a little bit larger, and I will use both sides of it, but I want to have a master book of color combos, and I wanted something that I could carry with me for quick referencing and everything like that. This won't be where it finally will rest. This will kind of be a in between when I put it into my final stages type of thing, and I'll get to that in a minute when I get to that sketchbook. But I really wanted something that when I think of a color combo, or I see something online where I can reference, I want to be able to put it in here, test it out, see how I feel about it. This is done in my B watercolor paper, which is my standard sort of color paper right now. I do use Cotty paper for all of my swatches, so I would do any confirmations on there. Unfortunately, their paper's not really meant for this kind of thing, and none of their books come at this tiny of a size, so I went to my second most trusted paper, which is my B paper. So back to accordion, because apparently a lot of my small ones are accordion. I do have this one here that I'm working in, and it helps if I open it from this side. This is a Pentalic journal, and I'm using it for references in landscapes. One of my biggest goals in 2019 was to work on landscapes, and I have done a few, but I kind of got sidelined with a few other projects and stuff that I wanted to work on. So I did get one side almost. I am still working on the last one finished. My next main thing will be in 2010 will be to finish this one. A lot of my sketchbooks, I should say, or journals have themes to them. Some of them are like free-for-alls, get your ideas out, just sketch, have fun. But I like to have themes with a lot of my sketchbooks because I like that cohesive nature, that once I have that creativity out, I've done a sketch in one of my go for it journals, I can physically focus on a project a little bit better. And like I said, if you're curious about why and how I do all this, I can do a separate video. This is my acrylic paint pen video, and if you're unfamiliar with what acrylic paint pens are, this is one of them. This is a Posca pen. I do have a few different brands that I like to use, basically whatever I can get my hands on. But I've done a few different drawings in here, drawing for inspiration from other artists and whatnot. I do have one that I had sketched out for Christmas that I think that I'm going to finish at some point soon. But I am learning about how I can use this in different styles. One of my favorite styles is the stippling, as well as using them to create kind of this like rougher texture, which I think is really interesting and really cute for a more cartoony style, which is really fun. And I'm trying to experiment with styles and stuff of how I want to do an upcoming project. So see, the pile's already falling over. I'm just gonna have to be careful. Actually, I can just I have two sides of the desk and I rarely put anything over there, so maybe I'll just do that. This one's kind of an oldie but a goodie. I bought this when I first started getting into gouache because I wanted a journal just for gouache, but unfortunately the big thing I hate about this journal, and I've never experienced it before, so I don't know if this is this journal or what, but these pages fall out. Like literally everything that I've done here I've had to tape in, so but I really like the paper, so I'm gonna get through it. I may just take out the pages as I go. I was doing a lot of practicing gouache, again drawing inspiration from other artists for it. Let's see, it came right out. But that's what this one is. I want to really try to get more gouache done in this. I haven't really done a ton with it since the beginning of the year, just because Posca pens and acrylic pens kind of took my focus a little bit. This one here is a Leuchtturm journal, and if you are curious, it is in a pink color. If you are in Canada and know where to buy these, please let me know. I bought them all from Indigo a while ago. I have 2 left, but I haven't been able to find them anywhere, and I was looking at the end of this year because Indigo typically has them on like super sale. Like I usually get them for about 15 or 16 bucks a piece, but they don't seem to sell them anymore, and I love this. But this is my Copic sketchbook journal, mostly like alcohol markers. I do use this journal or sketchbook in a little bit of a different style. Basically, this side it's for either sketching or full pieces of alcohol ink. This side will be whatever I want to kind of plaster in here, because alcohol markers, as you can tell, do bleed through the paper. So when I do a drawing on a simple sheet of paper, specifically portraits, because this is portrait and full body stuff only, that will go in here. I will plaster it in. I absolutely love working in my Leuchtturm journal. I think it handles marker beautifully when I do use Copic art, and it is archival quality paper, so alcohol ink will not last forever. Just so you're aware, it doesn't last forever, so but this will help keep it a little bit longer than if I did it on a full sheet of paper and had it displayed, because the sun can't get to it in a sketchbook, which I think is really important, because you don't want your stuff to kind of, you know, fade any quicker. This is kind of the, and I'm just going to move this up just a little bit more because we're getting to the bigger journals, the replacement for my Hobonichi. I did make the decision not to get a Hobonichi this year, just for the simple fact that A, it's really expensive, and B, there's just, I didn't need to get that sketchbook. I've already brought myself into the mindset of drawing every day, getting into it. It served its purpose. I can do this in a simpler, cheaper option. And I had this really cheap sketchbook around. It's actually meant to be a notebook. I'll just pull it out for you guys to see. And it is, I believe, 400 pages, or 350 or 400 pages altogether. So that makes it about 700 or so, 700, 800 like sides back and forth to fill out. So 750 to 800 drawings, I guess, to do in here, which is significantly more than the 500 plus that I did last year. But I wanted to bring myself to the challenge again. It was one from, I don't even know what the name of it is. Paper Destiny is the brand, apparently. The only thing I hate about this sketchbook is it falls apart very easily. I've had to tape this together, again, rather crudely with masking tape, but I kind of like that. I like the fact that it has a story, but very much like my Hobonichi, this isn't anything specific. You know, I put in here what I want to put in here. I actually started it off with a quick sketch of my twin sister, Reba, who is Venomous Vanity on Instagram. She does amazing makeup stuff. Go check her out. Tell her I said hi. But I also just do a lot of whatever inspires me. Like lately it's been a lot of florals, some sketches and stuff, experimenting with different paint. I'm also getting into doing monochromatic art, which I'm experimenting in here. This journal really isn't meant for a ton of ink and everything. I did start out a tester page on it just so I could try it. It does handle it okay, but it's super cheap paper. Like, it's extremely thin. So, I mean, you will get what you pay for in that regard. It's not meant for full-fledged paintings, but it does handle the watercolor extremely well. Like, it doesn't lose its vibrancy or anything like that. And I really enjoy it. I always keep a buffer sheet under whatever I'm working on because I fear for it going through. So just keep that going in mind if you're going to go for a cheap journal like this. I wanted to keep that momentum alive. So I decided to invest in a journal midway through of last year that I hope would be the replacement if I continued, because it was cheaper. And I really like it. I really want to find another one for next year. I haven't had any luck in it, but I wanted to start early because I bought this in a random store in Calgary and the chances of us going back to that store are very slim. So try to do what I can while I can. This is another one of those journals by Accordion. That's the logo. Accordion. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Creations that I ordered during their sale. And this is actually really interesting paper. It's cotton paper that's handmade. And it works in the funniest of ways. Like, I cannot get any kind of crisp definition on this at all, except if I'm working in a very specific way. Like, it's a very freeing journal for me, and this is going to be a very big floral journey for me in the sketchbook. I'm actually working on a piece right now, but I wanted to kind of experiment with loose florals, because in this one here, I was trying to do my succulent drawings, which is something that I'm really enjoying. The technique will not work on here, unfortunately, but then I just kind of expressed myself through some color on. And then by this color palette, I was then inspired by this one. And then I started doing this one just because they were pretty. But yeah, so that is this one. I'm really looking forward to hopefully finishing this one within the year. Because I have so many, obviously, they do take a little bit longer to fill out. The only one that I am priority for finishing this year is this one and this one here, which is that landscape one that you guys just saw. So those are my priority for the year. The rest are as I finish them. And while I finish them, I will do videos for you guys if you're interested. This is the newest journal sketchbook to my lineup. I bought this from a shop that claims that they are handmade, which it could be quite possible. However, there are many sellers that sell almost identical items. They were on sale, and they are 300 page journals was this one. And the designs were beautiful, so I decided to get a couple while they were on sale. I do have one more coming in a green color that I'm really excited about. But this was one that I decided to purchase just as a little kind of gift for me for Christmas. I wanted to allow myself to work in something a little bit bigger than I am used to without the pressure of having, you know, a big Strathmore journal or something that was really expensive. This, it was decently expensive because it's, you know, the way that it's made, which is fine. But it wasn't like, it was like $30 I think with shipping, so not that expensive. But the paper in it's really nice. You know, it handles watercolor surprisingly well. It does feather a fair bit, so you kind of got to be cognitive of that. But I really wanted something a little bit bigger that I could experiment with, do some fun techniques with. Plus, it is a really nice kind of, I guess, staple piece for my sketchbook area. I can, you know, have this sitting on my shelf and it looks really pretty. So there is that kind of aesthetic vanity to it. The big thing that I hate about it is these stupid clasps. And this isn't against people that make or like the clasp. They are such a friggin' hindrance. Like, you know, I don't mind the string. I really like the string or a strap. But why do you need to have these mechanisms on a sketchbook? All this does is make it hard to store this anywhere and open it. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going into a tangent because it's actually really annoying to try to get these closed because you have to hold it in a very specific way. But thankfully this was the only one of the three that I ordered that actually has the, see, the clasps come undone. The only one of the three that has the clasp. The rest of them I believe are string held, or they have the little thing at the top that flaps over, which again is fine. The last one is this one here, and I will have to kind of pull up. I think that's good, yeah. Handmade sketchbook. It's from Speedball / Global Arts. Like, there's a really big discrepancy on the brand of this. The paperwork that comes with it, like the little thing on it, doesn't even seem to make it clear. I can't find it anywhere except for on Amazon. So if you do know, oh, Jackson's Art does carry it, or not Jackson's Art, Jerry's Artorama does carry a version of this. But this is a 11 by 14, I believe, sketchbook, and it's upside down. And what I kind of wanted this one for was purely, well, apparently I don't know which way I'm opening this, purely experimental and to try out different color combinations. I did buy one for eventually painting because they were on sale on Amazon a few months ago, but I'm swatching out different paints that I have, seeing what kind of color combinations I can make specifically in greens and browns. So I have been working, as you can see, on a color wheel of that as well. And then I am also including just kind of like a primary color wheel of the colors that I have that are closest to the primary colors for me. I know most people are saying that it's magenta, cyan, and yellow, blah, 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 blah. You do you. You live your best life. I actually work with a little bit of a unique palette in which that I like cyan, red, and yellow. I don't mind magenta. I find magenta makes colors, yes, a little bit brighter, but I tend to work in more neutral tones. I don't need that super vibrant magenta type color. So I work in whatever primary palette kind of works for what I'm painting. And I think that's the last one in there. So, but again, neither here nor there. But that is all of my sketchbooks in there. Glory, I'm really excited for this year. I think this year is going to bring a ton of opportunities for me to draw, to explore, and to share with you guys that kind of journey. You know, there's a lot of excuses as to why we can't draw, why we can't do this, why we can't do that. So I'm really looking forward to coming back and experimenting and doing that all with you guys. So thank you as always for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check the little button out at the bottom. It does help my little channel grow, and check out my Instagram and all that good stuff. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!